Freight brokerage is a challenging business, and there are a lot of reasons why brokerages fail. In this video, we're going to discuss some of the most common ones, and we're also going to provide some tips on how you can avoid them in the future. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. If you're a fan of the content, please support us by crushing that like button and sharing us with all of your colleagues. Let's start by listing some of the most common reasons why freight brokerages fail. Number one, lack of experience. Many freight brokers start their businesses without any experience in the industry. And this can be an obstacle because it is going to take time to learn the ropes and build a successful freight brokerage, especially if you're going it alone. Number two, lack of capital. Freight brokerage is a capital-intensive business. Brokers need to have money to cover the cost of insurance, your technology, your load boards, and to pay your carriers. And without enough capital, it can be difficult to keep your business afloat. Number three, inadequate sales activity. Freight brokers need to be able to find and attract new customers. This requires a strong sales strategy that includes both cold calls, emails, and other creative approaches. Next, unrealistic expectations. Many freight brokers start their businesses with unrealistic expectations. They think that they're going to make a ton of money in their first few weeks or first month in business. But the reality is that it takes time to build a successful freight brokerage business. Now that we've outlined the major reasons why a freight brokerage fails, what exactly can we do about each of them? Well, let's start at the top of the list. Lack of experience. Everyone that has ever been good at anything was once a beginner. Don't be discouraged if you've just started out and you don't feel like you know everything yet. To be honest, no one in our industry is an expert at every single mode of transportation for every single commodity that is shipped. Now that's the good news. But the even better news is that every expert out there started by learning one commodity or one type of equipment at a time. Then as time passes and they gain more confidence, they expand into other markets and other equipment types. There are also a ton of free resources available on our website, freight360.net. And if you're starting by yourself, find a mentor. Reach out to some experienced brokers on LinkedIn and ask if you can shadow them. If you're unable to hook up with a mentor, there are plenty of coaching options to help you get your first few customers. You can check out the links in the comments for more on our coaching program at Freight 360. Next up, lack of capital. Yes, freight brokerages require a lot of money to run. That's the downside. But the upside to this is that there are plenty of factoring companies available to assist you with financing your brokerage. Check out both of our episodes on factoring, episode 131 or episode 73, where we take a deep dive into factoring and cash flowing your business needs. Next up, inadequate sales activity. If we were listing the reasons freight brokerages fail by the order of importance, this really should be number one. And the good and bad news about this one is it's entirely within your control, which means if you're not doing consistent daily outreach to new shippers and prospects, you don't have anyone else to blame. You don't have to make 150 calls each day, but you do need to make progress consistently and daily. Our industry runs on relationships, so you should be establishing at least one or two relationships every single day and developing stronger relationships with prospects you've already spoken to. And you should be making that progress daily, at the very least a few times a week. Have you ever heard the quote, slow is smooth and smooth is fast? You don't need to make frantic calls to dozens of people just to put numbers up on the board. You should be methodical and intentional about who you're prospecting and improving that skill every day. For more on this, check out our video, Prospecting with a Purpose. Finally, unrealistic expectations. Now, I know this one doesn't really seem like it has much to do with the others. I mean, what do expectations have to do with the amount of money we're trying to make? Well, more than you'd think. Where most newer brokers get discouraged is directly related to their expectations when they begin this industry. If you think you're going to be able to make a handful of calls each week and earn thousands of dollars in business right away, you're going to be in for a very rude awakening. And after a few weeks of getting no wins, you're going to be very discouraged and you're likely to quit. Now, on the other hand, if you have the expectation of building a successful freight brokerage over the course of a year or two, you're much more likely to stay positive and optimistic when you're not making 10K in your first few weeks or first month. And you're not likely to be burned out because you're sprinting the first mile of a marathon. Remember, this industry is more like a marathon than a sprint. So stay the course and put in the work daily, and you'll get there. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, and likely sooner than you think. For more tips and training, be sure to watch our weekly podcast on our channel and check out the description for links to private coaching. Because remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.